Superfoods for me represent an amazing opportunity to quickly transition into high vibrational, high energetic, high nutrient dense foods that can provide healing and energy and well-being in a way that's easy to consume. Technically, superfoods fall somewhere between normal functional food and herbal medicine. Where normal functional food will be the bulk of your diet, herbal medicine will be a medicative approach. So if you've got a disease, if you've got an ailment, you take herbs. Foods you eat all the time, herbs you have occasionally because they're very strong. You can't have a lot of it, so you can overdose on it. Superfoods fall in between because they provide the functional simplicity of eating it on a daily basis, but they also provide the healing benefits of the herbs. So they're medicinal, but they're functional. Now, when I talk about a superfood, I'm not just saying this is a superfood and that's a superfood because I think that they should be superfoods. I'm working with cultures around the world that have been using certain foods for sometimes centuries in their nutritional and healing regimes, and they've been tried and tested for that long. You know, Western science has now come along and verified that they're incredibly dense in certain nutrients and rich in minerals and vitamins and amino acids and all the things we need from food. But what I'm looking at is the ancient traditional wisdom, because they know from experience that it's good. And for me, food is not about someone breaking it apart in a lab and going, okay, it's good because it has vitamin C and it's got vitamin D and all the rest of the stuff. And then trying to synthesize those elements and give it to you because you're deficient in one of them. It's not a holistic approach to nutrition. Nutrition is really about eating the whole food in the way it was presented by nature so that you get the benefit of all those synergistic ingredients. And that's where superfoods come in. They're a way of supplementing, but they're whole food supplements. They aren't fractions, they aren't extracts, they aren't splitting apart the food into chemical constituents, the way it's being done today. When you eat a whole food, your body goes, okay, I know what that is. I know what to do with the vitamin C. There are enzymes present that tell me what's going on with that food. And that's where the healing benefit comes in, because your body can take it in, absorb it, and utilize it. And if you just look at something like vitamin C, for example, ascorbic acid produced from coal tar or petrochemicals in a lab to look nature identical will never, ever, ever give you the same effect and benefits as vitamin C, say, from an orange, or from acerola berry, or from acai, or from camu berry, which is the highest known vitamin C food on the planet at the moment. There are a couple of reasons for it, but the primary one is that in its petrochemical form, it has no energy. It has no radiance, it has no signature, it has no DNA. There's no information there. It can't tell your body what to do with it. So its effect is limited, it's hamstring. When we take in the whole food form, there's information present, there's energy present. When I talk about energy, I'm talking physically measurable, viewable energy. You can do a biophoton analysis of a superfood or vitamin C from a superfood compared to a biophoton analysis of ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid will have 0 biophoton coming off of it, whereas camu will have a huge amount coming off of it. What is biophoton? It's living light energy. It's a form of light wave particle that can be measured with very sensitive devices. So we now know that at the base of nutrition, we're not actually even looking at vitamins, minerals, or the macronutrients. We're looking at light. That's what we're eating for. And superfoods are incredibly rich in this light energy. You can also take a Kirlian photograph of food and compare it to a Kirlian photograph of a nutrient, a chemical nutrient, and the nutrient will be a black hole, there'll be no radiance, and the Kirlian of the superfood will be brilliant with colors all around it. So it's clearly showing us that the body needs this light, it needs the color, because this is what feeds us. Our cells are electrical batteries, it has a positive and a negative charge. You're eating for that electricity. When you don't get that electricity in, your body can't be electrically charged. You don't have the energy. It makes sense. And quantum physics is now saying absolutely at the basis of all reality, at the basis of physicality, we have this energy. And food is no different. So when we're talking about superfoods, we're talking about high vibrational, highly energetic foods. Okay. When you take them in, you feel that. Question at the back.
have a question, and it's something I've always wanted to ask you. If you look at your goji berries and you have a look at the cacao and you talk about these superfoods, why is it that they're dried? I mean, you know, you look at it and it's a dried up little berry and you think to yourself, well, how healthy can that be? Should I rather not be having a grape?
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, it's a good question. The reason they're dried is because they're sourced from cultures around the world. They do have to import it, and they don't ship fresh. I've just been to China and actually seen the goji plantations a couple of weeks ago. And even in China, you don't get fresh gojis because they dry so quickly because of the low humidity and the high altitude. So gojis are a food that's traditionally consumed dry. The Kirlian photographs that are taken of the superfoods are actually taken of the dry berries or the powders. So the radiance is of that final product. Now, if you're in the Amazon and you can get your hands on fresh cacao, as I've done, because I've been to Ecuador to see how cacao grows, I mean, that's amazing, the fresh fruit itself. So we try and get it as close as possible. They dry it under 40 degrees Celsius, so there's no damage from heat. It's packed very carefully, it's microbially clean because it's washed well. So we get it in as close to the natural version as possible. What I also recommend is you take goji berries home, you soak them overnight, you plant them in little trays, and you grow your own goji bushes. Because the goji berries have 40 viable seeds in every single berry, so they can grow at home. Absolutely. I mean, don't buy it from me, grow your own. That's one of my primary purposes in the message that I bring out in our courses is get into growing your own food. Because that's how you really take back your power. Because until you can feed yourself from what you grow, you're always relying on other people to keep you alive. And there's something very wrong with that. Another question.
Please will you tell my son over there with the striped shirt on how good goji berries are?
Okay. So let me get into some of the particular benefits of the superfoods. And these are benefits that have been used, say, in Chinese medicine. They've been talking about them for centuries. The goji berry has nearly 5,000 years of history as a medicinal food. It's the #1 botanical medicinal in Chinese medicine next to ginseng. It's been used primarily to rebalance the body to have more energy. It's called a Jing herb, which means that it stimulates your core life essence or energy. So if you're feeling lethargic, you're feeling tired, you're feeling run down, you're feeling like you've had a knock in life and you need to get your vigor back, that's what goji berries are good for. They stimulate that growth. And there's a reason for that. They have what is called a secrelog to human growth hormone. They stimulate the production of human growth hormone in human beings, which is incredibly powerful. And it's the only food currently known that does that. And that's really where its magic lies. You know, yes, it's got vitamin C in it. Yes, it's very high in antioxidants. Yes, it's really good as a digestive aid. But we really want it for its youthening ability. Okay. And it tastes nice very easily. Let's talk about some of the other superfoods then. That's the goji berry. Then we've got raw cacao. And for me, raw cacao represents something that's been missing in the vegetarian, vegan movements and raw food movements for some time. It represents an incredible opportunity for fun, lightness, and enjoyment. Everyone likes chocolate, but they all feel it's some kind of guilty treat. And what has been found now and scientifically verified in a number of research studies, which I all have, is that cacao is one of the most nutritionally dense, most powerful, and most healing foods known to us. It has incredible ability to rebalance your brain chemistry. It has anandamide and PEA, which are known bliss chemicals that are abundant in the brains of children, but as we age, they drop off. So we need to get those up again, and cacao can do that. And you'll know when you've felt down, what do you go for? You go for the chocolate bar. But chocolate bars have been processed to such a degree that there's almost no benefit in them anymore. And when there's an addition of sugar and dairy, there's no goodness whatsoever. It's now toxic sludge. So the greatest superfood on the planet has been converted into toxic sludge, which is quite an abomination. So what I'm trying to do is bring the original food back into the awareness and into the mouths and bodies of people so they can experience that. So one of the first benefits with cacao you'll find is a feeling of lightness, of fun, and a feeling like things just lift, things feel better, which is really its most important thing. Beyond that, it's also incredibly rich in magnesium, which is one of our primary alkalizing minerals and very important for heart function. It is also incredibly rich in antioxidants. It is the highest known food functional food and antioxidants. It has 3 times the antioxidants of goji berries, and goji berries are already incredibly high. And that's chocolate, raw chocolate. But when you roast it, you lose over 90% of the antioxidant concentration. So the studies that you may have heard of about dark chocolate being good for antioxidants, it's 1/10 of its potential, 1/10. And it's interesting because if you look at human beings, we also function on 1/10 of our potential. And it's something that you experience in reality at the moment, is that there just isn't this reaching out to our highest potential and our highest abilities. Superfoods and raw foods allow us to have access to that, which is why I love it. So that's raw chocolate, and with raw chocolate you put it in smoothies, you put it in desserts. You know, I mean, when I tell parents who can't feed their kids healthy food, make them chocolate mousse for breakfast, chocolates for lunch at school, chocolate smoothie for dinner, and they're like, how good can that be? I'm like, it's brilliant. You mix barley grass and wheatgrass powder in with the smoothies and the chocolates, you mix all the superfoods together, and they drink it and they love it. The taste is amazing, and they're getting nutrition on a level that is beyond what most people will get in a week of consuming cooked, damaged, standard Western food. So that is why I love cacao. It's almost like the gateway superfood that allows you to get into maximum nutrition. Because traditionally in Mexico it was used as a carrier of medicine. It acts like a delivery system for nutrients. So when you mix things like goji berries, like wheatgrass powder, like camu berry, and with the chocolates, you get an incredible boost from the cacao being present with those nutrients. So I totally love chocolate.
Can we do one of your courses?
So we run workshops around the country throughout the year, 3 times a year in Johannesburg, and 6 times a year in Cape Town, and twice a year in Durbs. Have a look at our website. We've got a listing on the courses we're about to run. We'll be in Joburg in 3 weeks' time, and then we'll be back here again beginning of December. They do fill up really fast. We only take 60 people on a course. And this course will be 40 because we've got a slightly smaller venue. So contact our office, have a look at our website if you want to join.